Once upon a time, in the land of the Great Savanna, there was a peaceful village named Kejijichojua, which meant Village of the Sun. This village was known for its great leaders, wise elders, and abundant harvest. The people lived in harmony under the rule of their beloved King Kiano and Queen Mother Amora. They had only one child, a young girl named Lenana, who was as radiant as the morning sun. One evening, a mysterious seer arrived at the palace gates, cloaked in a long robe and carrying a staff carved with ancient symbols. She spoke in a voice that echoed like the winds, "I bring a message from the spirits. Your daughter, Lenana, is chosen. She shall grow to be a queen among her people, destined to bring light and peace. But she must be protected, for darkness will seek to destroy her before her time." King Kiano and Queen Mother Amora were deeply moved by the prophecy, vowing to keep Lenana safe and hidden from any harm until her destiny was fulfilled. The prophecy spread like whispers among the palace halls, and soon reached the ears of King Kiano's younger brother, Mfalme. Mfalme had always envied his brother's rule and longed for the throne. He hid his jealousy well, pretending to be a loyal brother, but within him burned a desire for power. One moonless night, he devised a plan so dark that even the stars seemed to hide from it. Mfalme invited the king and queen mother to a private feast, promising a night of celebration. As they dined, Mfalme poured a poisoned drink into their cups. Moments after they drank, both King Kiano and Queen Mother Amora felt their hearts slow and their breaths fade. Their final thoughts were of Lenana, whom they had sworn to protect. With the king and Queen Mother gone, Mfalme stepped into the role of guardian for the young Lenana, declaring himself her protector and the village's temporary leader. He feigned sorrow and promised to care for her as if she were his own daughter. The people of Kejijichojua grieved the loss of their beloved king and queen mother, finding comfort in Mfalme's solemn promises. But behind closed doors, Mfalme was a different man. He treated Lenana with coldness, giving her scraps to eat and making her sleep on a straw mat. "You are no queen," he sneered. "You are nothing more than a burden." Though Lenana was young, she felt the sting of his words, wondering if this harsh man truly meant to protect her as he had vowed. As the years passed, Lenana grew into a bright and curious young girl. Despite her uncle's cruelty, she found moments of joy in the fields, playing with village children and learning from the wise elders who told her tales of her parents' kindness. One day, an elder named Shoni told her quietly, "You have the light of your mother and the courage of your father. Never forget, you are meant for greatness." These words planted a seed of hope in Lenana's heart. She began to notice things, the way her uncle's gaze darkened whenever the people spoke fondly of her parents, and how he grew angry whenever the seer's prophecy was mentioned. She sensed there was a truth hidden beneath his harsh treatment. One evening, while wandering through the palace, Lenana discovered a door she had never seen before. It was locked, but she could hear faint sounds, as though the wind itself was whispering through the door. Curiosity burned within her, and she vowed to return when she could sneak in undetected. Late one night, she slipped through the shadows, using a rusty key she'd found hidden in her uncle's chambers. As she opened the door, her heart pounded. Inside, she found letters, royal crests, and paintings of her parents, memories hidden away. There, she found a piece of parchment bearing her father's handwriting. "Our daughter, Lenana, shall be queen, the light of the Great Savanna." After finding the hidden room, Lenana grew determined to learn more. She asked Shani, the village elder, about the night her parents had passed. The elder hesitated, glancing around before whispering, "Your parents were betrayed, my child." The spirits told the seer, and she tried to warn us, but it was too late. It was your uncle, Mfalme, who poisoned them. Lenana felt her heart shatter. Rage and sorrow twisted within her as she realized that her guardian was her parents' killer. She clenched her fist and whispered, "I will not let him steal my birthright. I am the chosen queen, and I will make him pay for his treachery." Now armed with the truth, Lenana knew she had to act. But Mfalme's grip on the village was strong, and he had guards who watched her every move. She knew she couldn't confront him openly, not yet. Instead, she began to befriend the people of Kijiji Chodua, listening to their struggles and helping them in small, secret ways. The villagers began to notice her kindness, murmuring among themselves, "She is her father's daughter." The bonds she forged would become her strength in the battles to come, for Lenana knew she could not take back her throne alone. One day, a young warrior named Nia approached Lenana while she was collecting water from the river. "I know what Mfalme has done," Nia whispered, her eyes fierce. "I saw him with my own eyes the night of the poison. I have kept silent out of fear, but I cannot stand by any longer. Let me help you." Lenana's heart swelled with hope. Nia was one of the finest warriors in the village, known for her loyalty and strength. Together, they began to form a plan, one that would bring the village's hidden strength to light and expose Mfalme's cruelty to the people. As the weeks passed, Lenana and Nia quietly rallied the villagers who were loyal to the memory of King Kiano and Queen Mother Amora. They shared stories of Mfalme's cruelty, showing them how he had twisted the throne for his own gain. Slowly, the people began to see through his lies, and whispers of rebellion stirred in the air. Mfalme noticed the change, growing suspicious of Lenana's sudden popularity. He increased the guards around her, forbidding her from leaving the palace without his permission. But Lenana's resolve only strengthened. "I will be queen," she told herself each night, "and bring justice to my parents." One dark night, as thunder rumbled in the distance, Lenana and Nia set their plan into motion. They gathered their loyal supporters in the hidden valley beyond the village, away from Mfalme's watchful eyes. Lenana spoke to them, her voice steady and fierce. "Tonight, we reclaim what was stolen from us. We bring justice to Kijiji Chodua." The villagers raised their voices in agreement, their courage renewed by Lenana's words. Meanwhile, back in the palace, Mfalme sat uneasily, sensing that the winds of fate were shifting. Little did he know, the storm he had feared was already at his doorstep, and his reign of darkness was about to end. As the storm brewed overhead, Lenana and her allies approached the palace under the cover of darkness. Lightning crackled across the sky, illuminating their determined faces. Lenana's heart pounded, both in fear and anticipation. She was about to face her uncle, the man who had stolen everything from her, but she felt the spirits of her parents guiding her steps. Inside the palace, Mfalme sensed something was wrong. He could hear whispers through the walls, shadows moving where none should be. "Guards!" he shouted, but as he looked around, he realized that many of them were missing. They had joined Lenana's cause, abandoning him for the rightful heir. Panic seized him, yet he clutched his scepter, determined to hold on to his ill-gotten power. As Lenana entered the throne room, her eyes met Mfalme's across the vast hall. The air between them was thick with years of betrayal, and she could see the fear flickering in his eyes. Mfalme raised his scepter, trying to muster his authority. "You dare defy me, Lenana? I raised you, protected you," he spat, though his voice shook. "You raised me in lies and cruelty," Lenana replied, her voice unwavering. "You took my parents from me, and you stole the throne that was never yours." Her words echoed through the room, and Mfalme faltered, realizing the strength she held. She stepped forward, her allies surrounding her. "Your reign of darkness is over." Furious, Mfalme called his remaining guards, who rushed forward with spears and shields. Nia and the other villagers fought back, each clash of steel ringing through the halls. Lenana moved with purpose, her eyes locked on her uncle as she weaved through the chaos. Each step brought her closer to him, and her heart burned with a fierce determination to end his treachery once and for all. Mfalme, cornered, fought back with desperation, striking at anyone who dared approach him. But he was outnumbered, and his power was crumbling. For every step he took back, Lenana and her allies pressed forward, fueled by the memory of their fallen king and queen mother. The battle was fierce, but the will of the people was stronger. Just as Lenana cornered Mfalme, he gave a twisted smile. "So you think you know everything, child," he sneered. "You think your mother and father were perfect. They were as flawed as I am. They hid secrets even from you." Lenana froze, unsure if he was lying to manipulate her or if there was truth in his words. Mfalme continued, "Your mother, she knew this day would come. She saw it in a vision but kept it from you." Though her heart wavered, Lenana held her ground. She knew that her parents' legacy, whatever their past, was hers to uphold. "Perhaps they had secrets," she said calmly. "But I still carry their light, and I will not let you tarnish it." As the battle raged on, Lenana felt a warm presence beside her, as if someone was guiding her hands. It was a sensation she hadn't felt since she was a child. Suddenly, in her mind, she heard her mother's gentle voice, "My child, I am with you. Stand strong." Her spirit filled Lenana with courage, and with a newfound strength, she advanced toward Mfalme. Seeing the fierceness in Lenana's eyes, Mfalme faltered. He stumbled back, realizing he had lost the loyalty of his people and the trust of his family. "It is over, Mfalme," Lenana said. Her mother's spirit strengthened her, and she was ready to end the nightmare he had brought upon them all. In desperation, Mfalme lunged at Lenana, shouting with fury. But Lenana, swift and resolute, parried his blow. Nia stepped beside her, her spear raised. "You have nowhere to run, Mfalme," Nia declared. Mfalme looked around and saw that he was truly alone, surrounded by the people he had oppressed and betrayed. With one final scream of rage, he tried to attack once more, but his strength failed him. Lenana caught his wrist, looking him in the eyes. "This is for my mother and father, and for the people of Kejijichojua." With a swift motion, she brought him down, ending his reign. As the sun rose over Kejijichojua, the villagers gathered to witness the dawn of a new era. Lenana, now officially queen, stood before them, her head held high, a symbol of hope and resilience. The people cheered, for they knew that under her rule, peace would once again return to the Great Savanna. With Nia and her loyal allies by her side, Lenana made a promise to her people: I will lead with kindness, as my parents did before me. I will honor their legacy and protect this land from darkness. Her words echoed across the village, filling everyone with pride and joy. Though Mfalme's rule had ended, the scars he left remained. Many villagers bore the weight of lost loved ones, and they looked to Lenana to help them heal. With the wisdom she had gained, Lenana opened the palace to her people, inviting them to share their burdens and seek comfort. She listened to their stories, feeling their pain and offering her compassion. One by one, the people of Kejijichojua came together, healing through unity and support. Lenana led them in ceremonies honoring those lost during Mfalme's rule, and the villagers felt their sorrow ease as they embraced a future built on hope. One evening, as Lenana walked through the palace gardens, the old seer who had foretold her destiny appeared. Her eyes shone with the wisdom of the ages, and she spoke softly, "You have fulfilled your purpose, Lenana, but there is more to come. Your rule will bring prosperity, but challenges will arise." Lenana nodded, knowing that her journey was far from over. The seer continued, "Remember that true strength lies not only in power, but in compassion. Lead with both, and the spirits will always be with you." The seer vanished as quickly as she had come, leaving Lenana to ponder her words. Under Lenana's rule, Kejijichojua flourished. She introduced new laws to protect the vulnerable, encouraged trade with neighboring villages, and established a council of elders to help guide the village. The people rejoiced in her leadership, celebrating her wisdom and compassion. With each passing year, Lenana's legend grew, and she became known as the Queen of the Rising Sun, a leader whose light brought peace and prosperity to all who followed her. And in the hearts of her people, the story of Lenana, the chosen queen, would be told for generations to come, inspiring young and old alike to follow the path of courage, justice, and hope. One day, while walking by the river, Lenana spotted a figure in the distance, tending to a wounded animal. The stranger was tall and strong, with a gentle way of handling the injured creature, calming it with soothing whispers. Curious, Lenana approached, sensing kindness and strength in him. He introduced himself as Kito, a traveler from a distant land who had come seeking new knowledge and peace. As they spoke, Lenana felt an unexpected warmth in her heart. Kito was different from anyone she had ever met, wise, gentle, and with a playful spirit that brought her joy. They continued to meet by the river, sharing stories of their lives, and she soon found herself thinking of him often, her heart stirring with feelings she had never known. News of Lenana's growing bond with Kito spread quickly, and the village council was troubled. They called for an urgent meeting, insisting that she end her association with this outsider. "Our queen must be protected," one elder argued. "An outsider may not understand our ways or respect our customs," another added. They saw him as a distraction, someone who could lead her away from her responsibilities. Lenana listened but remained firm in her feelings. "Kito has shown kindness to our people and respect for our ways," she countered. "I will not ignore the wisdom in his heart because of where he comes from." However, the council refused to accept him, warning that her relationship with Kito could weaken her authority and endanger the peace she had worked so hard to establish. In response to the council's doubts and the growing threats from rival tribes, Lenana decided to form a battalion, a powerful, all-female warrior group that would protect the village and showcase the strength of her reign. She chose women from all corners of the land, selecting those who were strong, skilled, and loyal. These warriors trained day and night, learning to wield spears, bows, and shields with unmatched precision. She called this battalion the Sun's Daughters, for they were the protectors of the light and the guardians of the village. Led by Lenana herself, they became a formidable force, feared and respected by neighboring tribes. The council, though reluctant, could not deny the impact of this new battalion, even as they continued to worry about her connection with Quito. Late one night, Lenana met with Quito by the river, away from prying eyes. The moonlight cast a gentle glow on his face as they talked about their dreams and fears. "My people think my heart is divided," Lenana confessed. "They do not see the strength in having someone beside me." Quito took her hand. "Strength does not come from standing alone, Lenana," he replied softly. "It comes from sharing your journey, from those who believe in you and stand by your side." His words resonated with her deeply. Though her responsibilities weighed heavily on her, she realized that she could embrace love without abandoning her duty. Despite her efforts to lead with strength, the council grew more insistent. They delivered an ultimatum: Lenana could either choose Quito or her throne, as they believed that her connection with him was causing division within the village. "You are our queen, Lenana," they said sternly. "Your heart cannot be divided if you wish to lead us." Heartbroken, Lenana knew she had to make a choice. She loved her people and wanted to fulfill her destiny, yet Quito had shown her a part of herself she never knew existed. Alone in her chambers, she wrestled with her emotions, torn between her heart and her duty. Realizing the burden her relationship was placing on Lenana, Quito made a difficult decision. He came to her with a heavy heart, explaining that he would leave the village to allow her to focus on her responsibilities. "I would never want to be the reason you lose what you have worked so hard for," he said, his eyes full of sadness. Though devastated, Lenana understood his sacrifice. She felt the sting of loss as she watched him walk away, knowing he was doing this out of love. The Sun's Daughters, seeing their queen's sorrow, vowed to stand by her side and protect her no matter what, strengthening their bond as a sisterhood of warriors. Not long after Quito's departure, news came that a rival tribe was planning an attack on Kijiji. The Sun's Daughters prepared for battle, ready to defend their queen and their village. Lenana's heart ached for Quito, but she channeled her sorrow into strength, leading her warriors with fierce determination. The rival tribe, underestimating Lenana's forces, was shocked by the Sun's Daughters' power and unity. The battle was fierce, but Lenana and her warriors fought valiantly, defending the village and driving the enemies away. The council, witnessing their queen's strength and loyalty firsthand, began to reconsider their judgment of her. Weeks later, a messenger arrived at the palace, bearing a letter from Quito. In it, he expressed his pride in Lenana's courage and wished her peace. He wrote of his travels and the strength he saw in her heart, reminding her that she was destined to lead but could also allow herself love. His words comforted her, and she felt a spark of hope that they might one day reunite. Inspired by his words, Lenana threw herself into her duties with renewed purpose. She continued to lead the Sun's Daughters, instilling loyalty, strength, and compassion in her warriors. Under her rule, they became not only protectors but symbols of unity, respected and admired by all. One elder, Emora, saw the unwavering loyalty of the son's daughters and realized that Lenana's love for Quito had not weakened her but made her a stronger, more compassionate leader. Emora began to speak up in Lenana's favor, urging the council to trust in her judgment. Gradually, other members of the council came to understand that their queen's strength lay in her heart as much as in her duty. Recognizing the change, Lenana took a bold step. She addressed the council, declaring that while she would always be devoted to her people, love was not a weakness. I am a queen, but I am also a woman. My heart will not compromise my duty, she said firmly. The council, seeing her resolve, finally gave her their blessing. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Lenana saw a familiar figure approaching the village gates. It was Quito, returning from his travels. He bowed before her, his eyes filled with admiration and respect. I have seen lands far and wide, he said, but nothing compares to the strength and beauty of Kejiji Chojua. The son's daughters welcomed him, recognizing the love he and their queen shared. The council, now seeing the strength that love had given Lenana, no longer objected. Quito stayed in the village, not as an outsider but as a trusted ally and friend to the queen. With him by her side, Lenana continued to rule, stronger and wiser than ever, her love and duty perfectly balanced. With Quito by her side, Lenana and the son's daughters became symbols of strength, courage, and unity. They trained the next generation of female warriors, passing on their knowledge and skills. Women from all over sought to join the son's daughters, drawn by their reputation and the legacy they were building under Lenana's reign. Lenana's love story and her leadership inspired tales that would be passed down for generations. She had shown that love and strength could coexist and that a queen's heart was as powerful as her rule. The people of Kejiji Chojua prospered under her guidance, and the son's daughters became a lasting symbol of hope, loyalty, and unity for all. Rumors began to spread in the kingdom, whispers of unrest and betrayal brewing within the council. Despite Lenana's efforts to unite her people, there were still those who doubted her strength. One night, a member of the son's daughters overheard two council members discussing a plot to dethrone Lenana, suggesting they might use an ancient law to challenge her position. Lenana, always aware of danger, called a secret meeting with her most trusted advisors and the son's daughters. She realized that the threat to her reign was closer than she had anticipated. Determined to root out the disloyalty, she devised a plan to reveal the traitors and secure her throne once and for all. As Lenana prepared for the confrontation, she received word from a mysterious figure, a former member of her uncle's court who had fled after the king and queen mother's death. This ally, named Najori, claimed to have evidence that could expose those plotting against her. Lenana met Najori in secret, and he handed her a journal filled with details of the council's corrupt dealings, including those who had conspired with her uncle years ago. Armed with this knowledge, Lenana was more determined than ever to protect her people and fulfill her destiny. Before Lenana could confront the council, they made the first move. The elders formally summoned her to a hearing, citing concerns over her judgment and her foreign alliances, a thinly veiled attack on her relationship with Quito. They demanded she either banish Quito or abdicate the throne. Lenana stood her ground, responding calmly but firmly. She promised to address their concerns but warned that anyone found guilty of treason would be punished. The council members exchanged nervous glances, but Lenana could see the defiance in their eyes. She knew that the time for patience was running out. Determined to expose the traitors, Lenana set a trap. She spread false information, pretending she would abdicate the throne and leave the village. This plan spread quickly, and soon, those eager to seize power revealed themselves. The conspirators openly discussed their plans, believing they had already won. The sun's daughters, hidden in the shadows, listened carefully to every word. They relayed the names of the traitors to Lenana, confirming Nejori's warnings. Now she had the proof she needed to act, but the betrayal cut deep. People she had trusted had turned against her. Just as Lenana prepared to confront the conspirators, a sudden and shocking turn of events changed everything. Kito was arrested by guards loyal to the council. They claimed he had been spreading false information and inciting rebellion against Lenana's rule. Lenana knew it was a move to weaken her, but she had no choice but to order Kito's detainment until she could resolve the matter. Inside her chambers, she struggled with grief and anger. The council's plan was now in full force, aiming to strip her of her authority and weaken her by targeting those closest to her. But instead of breaking, Lenana's resolve only hardened. The council called for an immediate trial for Kito, accusing him of treason. As the village gathered to watch, Lenana stood before her people, knowing this was as much a trial of her leadership as it was of Kito's innocence. She argued fiercely in his defense, pointing out the lack of evidence and demanding fair treatment. The council, however, was relentless. They brought forth false witnesses and forged testimonies. Kito, calm and steady, maintained his innocence, looking to Lenana with unwavering faith. Lenana knew the council's manipulation was not just about Kito but a direct attempt to break her spirit. As Kito's trial continued, Lenana uncovered an unexpected piece of information from Nejori, an ancient prophecy that claimed a ruler of unbreakable spirit would rise to protect the kingdom in its time of greatest need. Lenana realized that the council was trying to preempt this prophecy, fearing that she would bring change that would threaten their power. Determined to fulfill her destiny, Lenana called upon her closest allies, the sun's daughters, and together they devised a daring plan to save Kito and end the council's control once and for all. Under the cover of night, Lenana and her warriors carried out their plan. They infiltrated the council's chambers, gathering evidence of their corruption and betrayal. The sun's daughters moved swiftly and silently, their loyalty to Lenana fueling their courage. Meanwhile, Lenana herself went to Kito's prison cell. Together, they fought their way through the guards and escaped into the forest, where they regrouped with her loyal warriors. It was a bold and dangerous move, but Lenana knew it was the only way to take back her power. The next morning, Lenana returned to the village with Kito and the sun's daughters at her side. She confronted the council before the entire village, presenting the evidence of their treachery. The people watched, shocked, as she revealed the council's plans to overthrow her, their betrayal of her parents, and their false accusations against Kito. The council members attempted to defend themselves, but the evidence was overwhelming. One by one, they were stripped of their positions, and those who had conspired in her parents' deaths were imprisoned. The people cheered for Lenana, finally free from the council's shadow. With the council disbanded, Lenana took her rightful place as the true queen of Kejiji Chojua. She restored peace and justice, making sweeping reforms to ensure that the voices of her people would always be heard. Her love for Quito was no longer forbidden, and he stood by her side as her partner and advisor, respected by the people. Lenana and the son's daughters became legends, honored and celebrated for their courage and loyalty. They continued to protect the kingdom, training the next generation of warriors to defend the land and its people. Years later, Lenana's story became one of legend, told around fires and passed down through generations. Her reign brought prosperity, unity, and peace to Kejiji, and her legacy inspired countless young women to follow in her footsteps. She had fulfilled the prophecy, becoming a queen of unbreakable spirit, leading her people with courage and compassion. Lenana ruled for many years, loved and respected by all, her story a testament to the strength of love, loyalty, and the unyielding power of destiny.